So welcome back to another episode of the Diagnostic Download. Thanks for joining me, guys. I'm here today with the UK sales team for Opus IBS. How are you all?
Very well.
Yeah, all good.
Yeah, all good. What I'd like to do is just go around so you guys can introduce yourself, maybe a brief bit of history about what you've done in your career, what's brought you to Opus IBS, and what areas you cover. So, Jake, I'll start with you.
Yeah, of course. Long time with Mercedes in the workshop, working up and through to diagnostic technician, and then into workshop control.
Yeah.
Joined Opus around 18 months ago, I think. Sort of a year and a half. So yeah, really well. And now currently UK sales team leader.
Nice. What areas do you cover of the UK?
London, the sort of southeast, really, into Essex and down for Portsmouth and across.
Yeah,
so
nice.
Southeast.
Thanks, Jake. Luke, would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. My name's Luke Norman, Sales and Marketing Executive. My background at Winicky was actually on site, office refurbs mainly. Stumbled my way into sales and been here for the last 6.5, 7 years. Can't get rid of me.
I would say that you've got a passion for cars anyway, Luke, haven't you? Not just,
I've always been a big fan of cars, so opportunity to work in diagnostics, learn more about them was always a fun thing to do, wasn't it?
Bit of a learning curve for the building trade?
Some similarities, but also very different at the same time.
Yeah.
Very different.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. What areas do you cover, Luke?
Mainly Europe, rest of the world, that's what I cover. From the marketing point of view, and I deal with distributors who have their own regions.
Yeah, nice. Okay. Louis, welcome.
Welcome. So yeah, been with the company for 12 months now, just over a year. Background is I've been in the motor trade my whole life, from workshop to car sales, most recently workshop for working purpose. Cover the northern areas of England and Scotland.
The colder parts.
The colder parts, yeah.
Thanks for that, Louis. Stevie?
Yeah, been in the motor trade since I left school. Started off apprentice in fabrication and welding within motorsport, and then went on to go on to mechanical, into dealership. I was ex-VAG tech for about 3 or 4 years, and then from there I've decided to kind of go back into motorsport, and then decided I want to put the tools down but still be within the trade, and still try and help out people if I can, and still be involved with that sort of thing.
Nice. Matty?
Yeah, so Matt Parr, cover South West and Wales, all the way down to Southampton and across to Cornwall. Started off at Volkswagen, was qualified technician for Volkswagen, then moved to BMW, qualified technician for BMW. Did 10 years on the tools, then came off the tools and was a service advisor for BMW as well. And then found my way into Opus around 2 years ago and thoroughly enjoying it.
Yeah. Like speaking to the independent garages that were
Correct.
different to the main,
Very different.
the main agents. Yeah.
Very different.
So as you can see there, we've got quite a wide array of kind of background, but we try to be a team as much as we can. Gets tested sometimes, I know. So as you know, the team's relatively new here in terms of you guys joined kind of back end of the lifespan of the DrivePro1. We've now got the DrivePro2 Plus product, which I believe has been received well, both here at home in the UK and also Europe with you, Luke. What are your guys' kind of thoughts on it? Obviously, you guys are employees of Opus, so I'm hoping you say something nice about it. But more importantly, what was your kind of first impressions compared to the DrivePro1, I guess, kind of overall?
Hugely different on the hardware side. I think even initially just picking it up, massive weight difference. You can feel it felt like
a big difference there.
Felt like a huge change in quality in terms of just how it feels. I think a lot of our customers are always, especially the existing blue box side, it feels a lot more like a blue box Assist Plus, so it's a bit of comfort for them straight away. And then plus what it does internally, how it runs, how it operates is a bit of in fact a lot of a complete full game changer.
Yeah.
And I think the other good thing is the boot up time. One of the bits of feedback we've had ever since I started was kind of boot up times. A lot of people use some tools, pick them up a lot quicker than previous, but the DrivePro2 seems to match that.
Yeah.
And then the functionality it gives as well. along with Aiden as well. So I think it's a really big improvement on the drive.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I think for me, the thing that makes the biggest difference is the Aiden, the AI software. It's such a buzzword now that everyone loves talking about AI this, AI that, but to be the first diagnostic tool to actually include AI into it from a support point of view, I think was, it's actually fantastic. Because a lot of people talk about AI, it's normally them going to ChatGPT instead of going to Google, which let's face it, it's basically an advanced Googler.
Yeah.
So you're still going to have the same pitfalls of Googling. How do you know the answer you're getting is actually the correct answer?
Yeah.
Where we're, instead of using AI from a point of searching the database, we're using it as a point of actually supporting the customer.
Yeah.
And let's face it, what's Opus known for? We're known for our support, being the solution rather than just another product.
Yeah.
So to have that tool from a support side, my quick response straight from the tool using AI, I think it's fantastic.
Yeah. It's quite a nice segue actually. One of the questions I've got here in front of me is, give me an overview of the DrivePro2 and what makes it stand out in the marketplace, which is, we've also got to remember that independent garages, they just want to fix cars, don't they, in this day and age.
Exactly.
Matt mentioned it quite nicely there about doing things quickly, things turning on quickly. So what kind of makes the DrivePro2 Plus stand out for you guys there? What is, you mentioned there Luke Aiden, and I think it's a very big point of the selling point and the work that we've been doing in the background to make this kind of a groundbreaking tool. But is it what does it stands out for you as Opus employees?
Straight out the box, I would say the performance. The initial thing you notice for me, especially if you're a DrivePro1 user, the first thing you'll pick up on is just the speed of the device.
But I also think the kind of independent garage trade has changed a lot because, I say everyone, not everyone, but a lot of garages now got dealer tools, or they want to look at dealer tools, but are scared of it because of all the rigmarole that goes with that. But we actually give people a platform now, and I think that's probably the biggest game changer that we've brought to the market in kind of the recent change is that we can now give people a platform to put the dealer tools on.
The word there as well was platform, because I think a lot of people as well still think that we as a company are there to provide a diagnostic tool. That's not just a tool, that is a platform.
You create your own.
And it's you've got that kind of PC computer vibe there. It's not an Android tablet. It's not like some of our other competitors, and that's not a dig to them because every tool has its purpose. But we are providing a platform and a solution for garages.
No, I think you hit the head with the term solution, because we've always, at least since I started back in 2018, we've never sold ourselves as being we are a diagnostic tool, because we're not. We're a diagnostic solution. But yes, we provide a diagnostic platform, in this case, free softwares. But it's the support that makes us who we are, to create a close friend of us. And with this new one, we've got the Aiden on there to help give the instant support. But now, because, as you said, the OEM platform, we've now provided the entire solution. You need diagnostics, it's on the tool. You need support instantly, you've got AI. If you need support and a phone call, we've got the Mars Tech team. If you need OEM software, we've got fast and minimize but it's all from the tool itself.
I think that's kind of, I think that's a very good point in terms of we've got the DrivePro2 Plus now with all these extra features such as my cardiac mode, fast light mode. We've got Aiden now on there, which you mentioned earlier, Luke, being the industry first AI, artificial intelligence, built into a diagnostic support service. And we sometimes forget that we do have the IVS 360 teams as well, which is what we've built the business on over the years, isn't it, in terms of the support? Because yes, there are tools out there that are cheaper, faster, quicker, do certain stuff, but no one can boast the industry-leading IVS 360 things that we can do from a kind of a background.
I think you're that's one, because we've been market leading in terms of the technical support and what we offer in the background. But I think now we have a piece of hardware on the front line that can match what we do in the background as well. So I think the whole package now is massively strong in what we can offer to help people fix the cars.
So first impressions overall, pretty good of the DrivePro2 Plus.
Very solid.
I'd have it in my garage.
Good. That's good, because you've got to believe in the products that you sell. I think
a lot of confidence in it.
I think all of us have got confidence in this product and see where we're now going. Let's be honest, we had the difficulties during DrivePro1. We tried to answer some of those online recently about where we've been with it. But the DrivePro2 Plus is genuinely exciting for me personally in terms of kind of overall. So what are the big changes then? That said, what product evolvements have you seen in the DrivePro2 compared to the DrivePro1, and even previous products?
I think now us bringing the application of potential, obviously, dealership tool to match with the aftermarket side of things. So obviously we all know that how hard it is with the manufacturers now making it to work on the vehicles, and obviously these independent garages are struggling. Giving them the idea now that they've got the Diag platform there on the aftermarket side, but then also an option to go in through with Farsight and stuff like that. I think that's a complete game changer.
Yeah.
And getting those two to go together is, I think that's really good.
And I think on the DrivePro2 it's seamless as well.
Yeah.
In terms of the integration of the virtual machines, and I think we really do give a platform now where if you've got no dealer tools, some dealer diagnostic tools, or all dealer diagnostic tools, there's still the need for the aftermarket with what we mentioned, the IBS 360, and being able to put it all into the one device. I think it's a real kind of plus point for the DrivePro2 Plus.
Yeah, and I think on the evolution as well, and obviously you guys, please correct me if I'm wrong, I know you guys are technicians here, not me, but from an outsider looking in for 2018, looking at the evolution of the industry, when I joined, people were just now finding out about, because of J2534, you couldn't do probably old fashion where you had to use OEM servers, you had to have OEM licenses and all that stuff.
Different legislation and stuff.
Exactly. All these things making it harder for the aftermarket to actually fix cars. Let's face it, that's what they want to try and do. So as it's now evolved from tools being able to do all the programming themselves to then you having to go through the OEM loopholes, like OEM
applications.
Thank you. And try and figure that way to now having the OEM stuff on your aftermarket tool again. You've done like a full circle. When you add that with remote service on there as well, whether you want to do it 100% all yourself using your own OEM equipment on there, or you want us to do it all for you via RAP, or you want to sort of dabble somewhere in the middle and use Farsight mode and get your own OEM login. The evolution's there when covering all of them on a program.
Yeah, I also think a big thing with that, you can have that tool no matter what stage of a business you're in. Whether you're a startup and you want to invest heavily and go, right, I want a tool that gives me security gateway, multiple platforms, and then goes, in a year's time, I want to get dealer tools and I want to go to the OEM tools.
Yeah.
And then you can grow into that at your own pace.
That's a great
rather than want to jump straight in. Yeah. You can almost just grow yourself in. So if you're a new startup, you get a good base. And then as you go in, but also if you're established and you've got multiple dealer tools, you can go straight to that.
That's a great show. We thought you cover a great range. Like I said, if you are brand new and you don't have OEM tools yet, you've now got a platform to add them onto in the future.
Yeah.
And if you do have a load of OEM tools, you've probably got some kind of OEM management you're paying for to manage all your updates. You can now just move them over to here.
But the other thing is, don't forget, with my card app, because it's just a desktop computer, if you have some of the specialist tools, I won't name them because we know what they are, but the non-OEM specialist tools, you can put those on there, which a lot of people have.
Kind of scopes and stuff like that.
Yeah, Pico scopes and other softwares, instead of running separate laptops for each thing. You can only got one platform to work.
That stand out for me as well. Despite all of these different things we're saying, it sounds like there's a lot. I find this, even compared to the DrivePro1, so simple to use. And the actual layout, the buttons, what's there, it is very, very simple to navigate.
Yeah. The user interface is fresher, I think.
Yeah.
A lot more user intuitive.
Yeah, for sure.
So what kind of, and Luke, I'll probably do you separate on this question, no disrespect, but I also want to understand about what it's like in the EU market right now. Well, what kind of demands are we seeing for the DrivePro2 in the marketplace from your guys? You're the guys that are going out and meeting some of our great customers day in, day out, and kind of pitching the product and solution with the IBS 360 guys to the customers. What's the kind of feedback on the DrivePro2 and what's your kind of feedback? And then coming to you, Luke, if I may, about the kind of the European market and selling through distribution networks. What's the distributors' kind of thoughts and stuff like that?
I think the seamless use of security gateway is one thing that I get fed back. What's nice about it, because you haven't got to sign up to multiple brands. You've got 10 manufacturers there, effectively, with easy access to security gateway. I also think kind of the usability of it, when you load up the different softwares, there's a lot going on. How easy it is to flip from one to the other, how quick it is now, and how kind of efficient it is. I suppose that's something I hear and I have heard.
Yeah.
customer feedback, I think it's been very good, very well received, and I think it kind of almost a lot of our customers, our existing base, were ready for this. You know, they wanted the next level, which we've been able to do with the DrivePro2. And when you're out with the new customers, I think some of the new customers, they know of the name and they're expecting something brilliant, and they know straight away that this is a great tool. Not only obviously a platform, but the usability of a tool while showing them on the demo, etc. is very good. There hasn't been any real difficulties in showing people or negative feedback, to be honest. It's been very strong.
Yeah, I think a baseline now is you go to an existing customer or you go to a new customer, and both reactions are the same, and it's just wow, this is a good tool.
It's a good feeling.
There's no like background thing or anyone's, because obviously everyone has good things, everyone has bad things about different things, but from an existing and a new point of view, it's both okay. This is a good tool.
And Luke, what about you in Europe through the distribution? Because you solely deal with distribution networks, and what's the kind of feedback been there, the customer experiences per se?
Well, for a bit of context first, Europe has always been a bit more interesting because our main USP is our technical support.
Yeah.
You know, and obviously there's a lot of European countries where a lot of them don't speak fluent English. So there's things like Scandinavia we're fine with, but there's a vast part of Europe where we can't set enough our best in support. And that's why I'm so biased when I say I think that Aidan is the best software on here, because now we can give that support to the vast majority of European countries now. We can give them support via the tool, using AI software. So from our distributors' point of view, that's what's getting the most amount of hype. They're loving Aidan, they love how quick it is, they love how accurate it is. Far side, my cargo mode side gives a lot of possibilities as well, because obviously Scandinavia, loads of Volvos over there, so be able to install VIDA. My cargo mode is obviously a very positive thing as well. So, but mainly that Aidan is what's getting the most attention at the moment with distributors, because we can support people for a much wider scope of people now, because we're usually not relying solely on technical support.
Interesting. It is interesting to hear how passionate you guys are about it, for sure. I suppose, and again, this could be a difficult question, but it's something that we're trying to kind of circumnavigate when we're doing our social media posts and trying to answer as many questions from kind of customers and potential customers that we may have. In the kind of competitive landscape side of things, where does the DrivePro2 Plus sit in an independent garage now compared to other diagnostic tools? I guess the question I'm asking is, why should someone not buy, but look at the Opus IBS DrivePro2 Plus with the IBS 360 support? What benefits is it going to bring their businesses?
I think it kind of wraps up everything we touched upon up to this point in terms of a kind of main hub for all different areas you may need or will want in the future in one easy place. Of course, there'll always be a market and need for different bits and pieces, but with the DrivePro2, with the support, with the secure gateway, with the dealer tool option, with these type of things, I think what you get feedback-wise is from customers in the aftermarket or garage owners is having to continually buy different things in different areas to...
I think one thing, sorry to interrupt, Dave, I think one thing as well from a diagnostic point, I've been with the company since 2014, kind of gone through the Blue Box days, the Assist Plus days, into the Drive Pro revolutions, if you like. And I think one thing that you find with diagnostics is independent garages don't want to spend money on diagnostics because it's very hard for them to charge their customers the money for the diagnostics because I've said it for years, it's an educational piece to them. There are customers of why it's important to do your diagnostics properly and right and in the most effective way. So I think it's one of the hardest sells in the garage equipment world. Something like a ramp, you press the button, it goes up and down, it's making you money all the time, isn't it? Whereas something like this, they have to invest in it and understand it, which is quite critical, definitely. I think. Any other points on that side?
I think just touching on what Jake said, I think it provides people with options ultimately from the 3 different softwares to dealer tooling options and support options and remote service options. I think it just gives them a more rounded package.
It's a solution, isn't it?
It is a solution, we say the word a lot as a group, don't we, about solutions, etc. But it's for the people that see a certain brand every day. It's for the people that see that brand once every month, once every 6 months, or very rarely see that brand. We've got an option there where they can take advantage of aftermarket diagnostic tools with the potential of having some kind of dealer level integration seamlessly in the one unit, but also the IBS 360 team for me, and that would be the biggest
And that's something I was just going to touch on, is kind of confidence inspiring, because you can have all the dealer tools you want in the world. Do we want to use them? I could use ISTA, give me Zentree, give me DrivePro2, I've got no idea. So you can have all of these dealer tools and all the tools you want under the sun. If you don't know how to use them,
then even if you do know how to use them, it's then updating them every time you use it, etc.
And even your own, your diagnostic process from a Mercedes to a BMW to a Volkswagen is going to vary slightly differently depending on the system, how that works. And I think if you kind of add IBS 360 into that, that's where you get your confidence. Even if it's have I gone the right process here? Have I missed something? So I've got no idea with this fault code. I've gone to Ada and I've done what I want to do with Ada and I want to speak to someone. You get confidence that way as well, knowing that you're always going to get the information.
That's that thing with speaking to someone as well on the phone. It's all right finding information out online or through certain information kind of companies. Yeah, it's that personal touch of speaking to a tech and reassurance. Yeah, it's even if you know where you think you might be, it's just handy just to have someone there who's not even been looking at the car sometimes and just go, just forget about that for a minute. Have you tried looking down this? And I think someone speaking to someone who knows exactly what they're on about and is specialised within that brand is a massive thing.
Can be very beneficial at times as well, because you can get lost in a diagnostic rabbit hole quite easy. I'm sure we've all been there, with the exception of Luke, who was a builder before this trade, but I know you've spoken to customers alike that have been down there. So have we seen any kind of unusual cases or unique ways customers have integrated the DrivePro2 into workflows then? Because there's a lot of new kind of products and features on the DrivePro2 Plus. We've now started to get it into the hands of customers that ordered way back August time. So we're starting to get that kind of live feedback from UK customers and also distributors alike, Luke. Has anyone seen anything pretty cool or helped anyone with anything like that?
I've got a customer that's they've said that they've insisted that the Aiden capability of it, when they have the DrivePro2 up, it's literally on the Diag bench and the Aiden is just constantly open. And text will go up because obviously again we don't just support on our tool, we're supporting them as a business. So some of them they might be using other tools and that'll be open, and sometimes they'll just go in, there's an open chat and they'll just literally ask Aiden questions. They've got the codes from another tool, and that's how they run it now, and that's the information there. And then obviously if they need to speak to a live expert, they can.
So, for those that don't know what Aiden is, I guess we should just clarify what. Keep using
Who is
this guy?
It stands for Artificial Intelligence Diagnostic Networks, and it's a company that's part of the Opus IBS umbrella. And they've created out of the US a very cool bit of software, I think we'll all agree, that kind of attaches itself to the IBS 360 support ticket and is the first point of call, technical assistant, if you like, before kind of coming in for, and I know you guys have used it, because I've been with you guys when you used it. What are your thoughts on Aiden? AI is massive. It's a massive word at the moment, not only in our industry, but everywhere. Everything is AI this, AI that. How does AI work with diagnostics?
It's a first step. So if you get a fault code, we've all seen customers that put support case in and get a fault code, and it's not a lot else, So it will give you that initial step of basic checks, and then you can build on that. But what I have noticed, the more specific you are with it, the better answers you get back. I've tried being quite vague with it. I've tried being really specific, and every time I'm vague with it, I get something vague back. Whereas if I go specific, it will generally give me what I want, which I find really interesting.
I've seen it when you give it vague or little information, it actually asks you for more information. So it almost prompts you. I've seen a case on there where it prompted somebody to scan the vehicle for fault codes, because I think it was just a dummy case that was put through. But Aiden prompted to start by going to. Absolutely, I think it just it can cover the basics quite well. I've seen from the off.
So this is why I'm kind of biased, and I big up Aiden quite a lot, because as Cal said, AI is everywhere now. Everyone's talking about it. It's the biggest buzzword in the tech industry currently. all AI is now a ChatGPT. It's just machine learning. It's just an advanced Googler. It just Googles stuff a lot faster than you can. But that's not what Aiden is. Aiden isn't ChatGPT. It isn't a quick Google. It's actually trained by all of our data. All of our data we have across our free softwares is what's actually trained it. And that's why I mentioned earlier, when you start getting specific with it, it was able to give you more detailed answers. It actually already has been trained by our data, our intellectual knowledge, I believe the technical term I'm looking for. And like you mentioned, when it was actually asking you further questions, that's the whole point behind the design. Its design isn't to give you a quick fix. Its design is to assist our technical team. It's not to replace it. It's trying to get, the more information we can get from the customer, the better our technical team can help the customer. And so the whole point behind Aiden is to not only give you a quick fix, obviously that would be fantastic if it can, but it's to get as much information as possible. So when we do reach the limit of how far we can help, when you escalate to a live expert and the technicians get it, they have all the information they need to get straight to give you the answer and fixing that car.
I think that's one other thing that we don't talk about, that we should talk about. It also benefits us.
100%.
Because our support service has been ravaged over the years with more customers coming on board, which is great. The network is growing, but they sometimes get swamped with stuff that you wouldn't believe. I think you all know that, and I think Aiden is a real kind of game changer for that, which will help us with response times, the ability to support our customer base in a more effective and efficient manner. Not from, like you said, Luke, there, you said it's not to replace IBS 360, almost definitely not. But it's there to complement and help.
It's a first line of defence, or should I say a filter.
Yeah.
Once it gives you the answer, or the rough answers first, and then, like I say, the main people that are using our support, 9 times out of 10, they've done X, Y, and Z, and then they're like, okay, I'm stuck.
Yeah.
Yes, there's some people that raise things, not for silly things, because nothing's too silly, but there's some a lot smaller things that could be answered with AI quite easily.
Yeah.
It's that filter there to get those support times.
The other side to that as well is that sometimes the customer, whoever it may be, the tech is asking something that they need information. They send up a ticket and there's a wait time for something that's instantly answerable with AI. So it's not just our end that wins, it's also their end. Because they can get information and get going quicker, over amount of oil, which oil, what AC gas, how much AC gas. Instead of having to wait for an answer on that and try and find it, it's an instant reply. You just carry on.
Well, I think as Matt alluded to earlier, how you're very good at it on VAG, for example. But if you were to get a different brand, you may not know relatively basic answers. Not to say you're not fantastic to take on VAG, but you don't know that manufacturer. So if you are, in Matt's example, used to VAGs, you get another brand, and you're like, is this correct? I actually know. Just ask an agent and get an instant response. It's going to give you that confidence you need to crack on with your job.
And when you say instant as well, for people that haven't seen Aiden yet, it is pretty much instant.
Yeah.
So to
you ask
that as well.
Yes. You ask a question, it thinks, it answers.
It answers. as if you were asking a normal person.
I wish I could say the same about the people in the room. But
That's 25 minutes.
I joke. So I guess a kind of a loaded question for you guys then, which is probably could be a difficult one to answer for you, because again, we're recording this for a podcast, both audio and visual. What's the biggest challenges you guys think that you'll face selling the DrivePro2 Plus?
I know from my point of view, dealing with a lot of guys overseas, because I do both Europe and the rest of the world, I have vast regions where J2534 isn't a thing.
Yeah.
So yes, in Europe, when you try to say, for example, JLR on Fast, for example, almost all of my European distributors can explain to their customers where to go get an OEM lock, for example. When I'm dealing with my distributors who are in Angola, Brazil, South Africa, that's not an option. There is no facility there. So to try and get across of how to get the most from their regions is a very specific issue that obviously we have to deal with. It's not my issue, it's the whole region issue. My cardiac mode does open up quite a lot, so they can store other things on there. But that's something that I foresee being an interesting hurdle, let's say.
But like you said, that's more country specific,
100%,
in terms of them not adapting to the legislation laws and
exactly. It's not similar to the DrivePro2. It's a problem with trying to sell any diagnostic over there, because they don't have the same access to stuff that we do over here.
When you think about it, diagnostics is a bit of a weird one, isn't it? Because you do a service, it's pretty similar to wherever you go, but every garage will do their diagnostic process anywhere in the world different.
Yeah.
And that's probably the answer even with this. Sometimes with the DrivePro2, there may be some people don't realise or don't have a need or feel they don't have a need for all of these different elements. So it's almost as if, well, I don't come across this, or I don't need secure gateway yet, or we only see this brand, so why do I need all of that? And it's more of that way.
I think Matt mentioned it earlier in terms of being able to give yourself a platform, because there's a lot of people that don't know they need it because they're not getting to that.
Not there yet.
I.e. getting someone else in, shipping the car out to a main agent or another garage to fix that problem. And it's something we see from customers day in, day out, where they go, well, I don't do any programming. How can you get away with not doing programming in this day and age?
Why don't you?
It's more
scary.
It's more so and I think it is the breakneck speed that the industry changes, and the amount of software and, like I said earlier, diagnostics is scary. There's a lot of investment that can come with it, and if you get it wrong, it's a large investment. Whereas a RAM port, an MOT tester, they're pretty safe bets, because they're always going to earn you money as an independent business. Which, let's not beat around the bush. That's why people come to work. We come to work and to earn money, and so do the independent businesses. So kind of looking ahead then to the future of the DrivePro2 Plus, what do you see where do you see the DrivePro2 heading in the next 18 to 24 months, UK, Europe, and kind of rest of the world regions?
I think from a development point of view, we're still really early, incredibly early in it, and to have what we already have this early is a really nice baseline. It's not good, like it will only get better. Far sites, VMs are going to get more. My card app's going to grow. So I think as a baseline, we've got a real nice baseline. I think by the time we start adding other manufacturers into Farsight, it will just become much bigger. And it will get to a point where people don't need to go and buy 10 laptops to run multiple tools all the time.
I think that's the easiest thing if we're looking at development in the next 12 to 18 months, the easiest thing we can look at for sure is the Farsight mode. Currently we got the Toyota, General Motors and JLR. I won't say what brands are coming, of course. We know what brands are coming very shortly. And the next 12, 18 months is going to be a decent library on there of manufacturers. I'm looking forward to see what happens with Aiden. Obviously, how they're going to grow, because obviously the more it gets used, how rude. Okay. The more it gets used, the more information it's going to get, the smarter it gets, the faster it'll be. So Aiden can only get better. I'm looking forward to seeing how that goes.
I think in terms of a place in the workshop, I think as we get there in the 12, 18 months, I think this could become more of a one-stop shop for the workshops out there. And the garages, they may not need to be purchasing 2 or 3 or 4 different bits of equipment. We can offer them in one, which is, and even in terms of pricing, so competitive as it is. So I think that's going to be the main positive out there.
It's certainly going to be changing how a lot of garages are functioning moving forward. As a platform or solution, but there's a lot of different ways that you can change how you're charging for diag and stuff like that, and gathering that information. It is really going to change things.
I also think it's important to remember that you're always going to have a need for tools alongside of us. We're never going to be one. We can do a lot of the stuff in terms of OE tools. There's always going to be other tools that add something different to what we can. But I think if we can be a main pivotal kind of piece of equipment amongst someone's catalogue, if you want to call it that.
I think people will have to get their own manufacturer subscriptions, etc., to use the different modes and stuff like that. But I think the DrivePro2 Plus now offers us as a company, Opus IBS, and also our customers a greater diagnostic unit with more functionality in their day-to-day operations of trying to get to the bottom of fixing customers' cars, and the ability to seamlessly link the aftermarket software, as I mentioned, to the OE platforms with virtual machines. And again, I'm not computer illiterate, so it's very difficult to understand how it works. It still blows my mind every time I use it, but my kind of usage on it is been excellent. Okay, so if you could give one piece of advice then, go around the table, to customers looking
It was.
at the DrivePro2 Plus and why they should upgrade, Luke, what would it be?
Buy it.
Is that your advice?
Yes, buy it. Especially if you're in Europe. Buy it.
If you could give one piece of advice, Jake, to a customer considering the DrivePro2, what would it be?
Yeah, I think my advice would be, if you were to purchase this, how you would market it. So, for example, in terms of your customer base and why you could maybe charge more for diag, it's the background, of what you can do. So you haven't just purchased a piece of equipment, you have a gateway to the OE world, plus the software, secure gateway. So in terms of what you can advertise from your workplace, technical support that's brand specific, OE software capabilities, being able to access dealer tools to do coding and programming.
Yeah.
So I think my advice would be marketing.
Yeah, good bit of advice. Stevie, what about you?
I think relaying on to what Jake said, what's the point in buying one tool when you can buy 3, 4, 5 tools in one, maybe more?
Yeah.
It's having that coverage and that solution, and that's kind of how I put it out to customers.
Nice. Mate?
I think from my point of view, it's confidence. Like we're giving our customers the confidence to diagnose cars quickly and right first time. I think that's probably the biggest thing. And it's also a justification for your kind of labour costs.
Yeah.
You've got a piece of equipment like us and the backup and the support, you can easily justify your kind of labour costs or diet costs to your customer.
Yeah. Louis, what about you? What would you say?
Similar sort of thing for Matt. I mean, if you're not currently looking at sort of doing lots of coding and programming work, if you're turning diag away because you haven't got support, just be open-minded and have the confidence to use support and use our services to potentially help you keep more work in-house. And
More money in the bank.
Exactly right.
I think that's a good round place to stop there. So thank you for joining us on another episode of the Diagnostic Download. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment. We will try and get back to all the comments left on all of our videos, but also follow us on socials, TikTok, Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook. Across our business, we will be posting a lot more user-friendly content. I know we're doing some funny videos, but we're also going to put some helpful content out around the DrivePro2 Plus, the usability factor. But again, please, when we do post it, you can like, subscribe, comment. It will make a massive difference. So we'll see you on the next episode. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Buy it.